Hello everyone, Carolu744 here. I hope that you guys can hear me okay. I did a couple tests. This is something new that I'm trying out. I always was interested in starting a podcast thing where I react to movies or whatever, because I try to do that many times on my YouTube channel mainly with Doctor Who, but the issue was that it took too long to edit. It wasn't too long. Obviously, I did manage to find the time. It's just then it just really started to get tedious, and as time went on, it started to really get boring. So I'm considering doing this podcast thing where I can just give all of my thoughts, because that obviously my main concern with doing this is that I'm not going to have stuff to talk about. Obviously, it's better to do this kind of thing when you're with someone else. The more people, the better. So that way you have more things to talk about, rather as I'm just by myself. So I would kind of be talking to myself. But at the same time, that was just my main issue that I was having with the Doctor Who stuff is that early on my videos were like 10 minutes each. But then as time went on, I just found more and more things to say, and there was just less and less stuff that I wanted to cut out. And the video would be like so long, and it'd take so long to edit out all the times that I was quiet. So I'm hoping that doing this podcast thing is going to be okay, you know? We'll see how it works out. So this time I was thinking, what's the first movie that I should react to? And sorry, I'm speaking into a microphone. I think it went a little bit weird there. But obviously, you saw the title, you see the thumbnail. I don't know what the thumbnail is going to be yet, but Star Wars, also known as Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. I'm going to be watching apparently the original cut from the VHS that I found in my basement. I don't know how easy that is to find, but hopefully you do have a copy, and I hope that then you can play it alongside my commentary here so that way I don't get blasted by copyright for showing any footage or anything like that. So currently I have it set up to right before the 20th Century Fox logo is about to pop up. So if you can, get your own copy and press play right now. Okay. So right now, so dun, 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 dun. Okay. Why does it look like I don't want to be I don't want to sound oh wow that barely lasted at all. But like it was so old. Like it didn't show any of the animation or anything. It was just an image. I mean, the lights did animate a bit. What does a Lucasfilm limited production mean? Okay, here we go. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And there's a title. I remember many people do talk about how they want to see these movies when they were originally made in theaters because there is an interview on this. See, okay, this is the only issue with the with this supposed original cut is that it does say Episode 4, A New Hope, which was not said in the original cut, obviously, because they had no idea this was going to be Episode 4. I remember I tried to explain the whole thing to my grandma, and she was like, "Why would they make the fourth and the fifth and the sixth one and then go back and do the first, second, and third?" I didn't really know what prequel meant, so it was hard for me to explain to her at the time. I was just a kid. I should have missing the thing. It is a period of civil war. Rebel spaceships striking from a hidden base have won their first victory against the Civil Galactic Empire. During the battle, rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star, an armored space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, Princess Leia races home aboard her starship, custodian of the stolen plans that can save her people and restore freedom to the galaxy. I almost like because the text is getting far away. Technically, all the text is still on screen right now, but it's impossible to read all of it. There you go, it's fading away. But yeah, I honestly am not that big of a Star Wars fan myself. I'm not. Apparently, a lot of other people, like a lot of like my aunts and uncles, and other people do think that I'm into Star Wars or think that I would be into Star Wars because I'm a sci-fi fan. And I have nothing against the franchise. It's just it didn't really click with me. I remember as a kid I enjoyed it because as you're a kid you enjoy anything, any big movie that's impressive. And see, like this is cool, like showing a big spaceship right after a little spaceship. I assume the big spaceship is the Empire, although it's having blue lights on the end, so maybe they're good guys. I don't know, but like Yeah, the thing is that I was never really into Star Wars. I remember as a kid, the big thing that I was into was the lightsabers. Okay, so here we have C-3PO and R2-D2, and there's that gray robot in the back that's actually apparently called E-3PO. And I remember there was a little time where as a kid I was really into E-3PO because I wanted to know who this character was because they have like see like he just goes off right there and we never see him again until apparently episode 5, which is the next one where he has like a little cameo where he says like some sort of alien language to C-3PO and C-3PO says how rude. But yeah, so as a kid, I remember like there was quite a while where I had kind of lost interest in Star Wars, but I was still interested in the lightsabers. I was interested in how some of them are blue and green and red and purple, and in the animation some were yellow and orange. And I was like kind of ashamed that we never see yellow and orange lightsabers in the actual movies, although I think there is one in the newer ones. And yeah, it's kind of the same of how like Doctor Who with Big Finish, we have like characters like Evelyn Smythe, who can be considered not canon, even though, just because they're not on the TV show. Yeah. So there's a bunch of stormtroopers, apparently those are called. I didn't know. I only know a lot about Star Wars now because I've been watching other people review it. But yeah, it's been ages. I remember my aunt gave me the original trilogy VHS copy um, the original VHS copy ages ago, and I didn't actually know that I still had it. I kind of forgot about it. But then I'm looking online, and I didn't even know about these different cuts of these movies. But like, yeah, the way that they just kind of, I never really noticed that as a kid, because as a kid, like Star Wars is just like a bunch of stuff happening all the time, which there's nothing wrong with that. I like that. Here's Darth Vader here, but like the way they just walk through the lasers, it's really weird. But anyway, like what was I saying? So yeah, I didn't know about these different cuts. I didn't know about the Star Wars 4 Special Edition and about how apparently everyone hates it, and apparently you can't get the original cut anymore because even this VHS copy isn't the original cut because it has this Episode 4 A New Hope thing. I remember when I think there was a commercial right before this VHS that's oddly enough a commercial for this VHS set, I think. And it's like, experience the Star Wars trilogy one last time. And I remember as a kid, I was like, wait, but it's not one last time because there's Blu-rays and DVDs out now. Like, and then my mom was like, oh yeah, well back in the day they would only release things so many times and there'd be re-releases or whatever. And I'm just like, what? I mean, now when something goes out of print, it's really weird. I mean, Doctor Who DVDs are going out of print, but then they just release the Blu-rays. I don't know. It's all very strange. It's just all very. What are all those robots? Are those like different versions of R2D2? Or like what are they called? Like, I always wondered, is C-3PO and R2-D2 have like different combinations of letters and numbers all the time? Like, here's Darth Vader choking somebody. He's not even using the Force choke. Yeah, I remember that this part, like, I remember as a kid, this part would always kind of freak me out a bit. The way, like, like, I think that I had to have it explained to that the guy dies here, I think, right? Because I think Darth Vader does. Yeah, they're right there. The way they just throws him at the wall, like, Darth Vader is just so brutal. And the Cosmonaut Quickie, the YouTuber, points out that Darth Vader actually has like fingerprints on his helmet. Like it's just stuff like that that just really like makes me respect movies so much more. It's like the fact that they don't really give a crap that there's fingerprints on Darth Vader's helmet. They're just trying to make an entertaining movie. Oh shoot, they just killed Princess Leia. Yeah, she's dead. But you don't believe me? Look online. Carrie Fisher is dead. Sorry, I didn't mean to be all morbid there for a second. Hang on. I just have some orange juice next to me to kind of, because here I am, I'm glad that I'm talking, but then I can just get a dry mouth easily. I don't know if there'll be a point where I'm going to try and stop recording and then start again, and I'm going to try and make it so that it perfectly synchronizes, so that's not like you guys have to pause, because I'm already asking you to go out of your way to find the the original cut, and then sync it up here. I don't want to disturb you guys anymore, but yeah, so apparently what that commercial was about was just about the original version. They're like, own the original Star Wars on VHS one last time before the special editions come out that everyone hates. But That's a cool planet there, because I don't really know what that planet looks like. For a moment, I was going to say that looked like Mars, but it kind of is very big, so it might have even been like Jupiter. Yeah, hopefully my recording doesn't like crash or anything like that, you know? I don't want to try and do the thing where I'm constantly stopping and starting. I want to try and have like a little trust. Because it was just an issue with my camera once, but like then again, I don't want to jinx it, and it does go wrong here too. But yeah, if anything's wrong with the audio or anything like this, just let me know and I'll try and fix it. Yeah. So, if spoilers are a thing really for the original Star Wars trilogy, because Luke and Leia, I'm not supposed to know this yet, but Luke and Leia are like brother and sister, right? And this is a real big spoiler. I know that not that many people know this. It's like kind of one of the least known scenes in cinematic history because everyone just keeps it a secret and doesn't really talk about it, is that Darth Vader is actually Luke's father. So that definitely means that Leia is Darth Vader's daughter, right? Like it must be. Like I don't know. That's probably some sort of obvious lore, and maybe some of you are like cringing at me, even assuming that, even considering the idea that it might be different. But I mean, I guess they could, but like then they'd be like half brother and sister. I was gonna say step brother and sister, but no, they'd be half brother and sister. Because like the difference between step brothers and step sisters and half brothers and half sisters is that half brothers and half sisters, there's still some biology to it. Because it's like one, either your mom or your dad gets a new partner and then they have children, then it's your half brother or sister because they still have like the blood and genetics of one of your parents, versus a stepbrother or sister is when your mom and dad go to a new person who already has kids of their own and they aren't actually biologically related to you at all. Other than again, we're all related if you go back far enough in the family tree. I've been looking for that YouTube video where there's like a whole bunch of pictures, like it's you and then your parent and then your grandparent, and then it stretches all the way back. And then it like shows like a realistic thing. And it's like, if we go back like 500 feet and then just take a picture out, it'll look like a fish because that's your ancient ancestor. But yeah, see, like here I am, like I've said a lot and we're already like 12 and a half minutes in. Yeah, I hope that you guys are syncing it up okay. I don't think it really matters that much with these grand with the like unless if there's like a grand reveal of some kind. But like see R2D2, he's about to go wait, hang on. Beep boop boop. No more adventures. I'm not going that way. For some reason that line of dialogue always stuck with me. I'm calling R2D2's beep boop beeps a line of dialogue. See, that was a cool transition there because it almost looks like it's some sort of glitch in the VHS there, but like just zooms up, it shows R2D2 walk in or rolling, whatever. And there's C3PO just walking. Kind of feel bad for C3PO here, because like he's walking in a desert, but he is an android, right? So he doesn't need to like drink, I assume. Like if he drinks anything, it's probably bad for him because he's a robot. It'd be bad for the circuits or whatever. Or he's an android or whatever. Sorry, like I said, I'm not that huge on Star Wars, you know? Yeah, C3PO and R2D2 have a weird relationship, I think. But what the frick? Oh, okay, so there's something like black shining in the distance. What are all those next to C3PO there? Are those like a bunch of trees? Yeah, so that was a cool transition there too. But yeah, so like imagine if you were walking in a desert and you had no idea about robots or androids. Like imagine if this was like a desert on Earth and you just see a robot or you see some sort of humanoid and you're just like, why does he look all like shiny? He must be like really dried up or something. They find out that's a robot that is kind of dried up. Oh, there's the meddling monk there. Yeah. Apparently Doctor Who had a crossover with Star Trek, which I haven't actually seen anything Star Trek related. I should probably, maybe I'll do Star Trek next. I do have like a list of movies that I want to try out and watch. But you know, it's just this list of movies that I have. I'm actually not quite sure how many there is. Hang on, I'm gonna check. How many do I have? I have 83 movies. But then again, I don't want to like have it like fixed and say like, no, I'm not taking any recommendations until I've reacted to all the ones here. Holy crap. Wait, that these are actually some decent special effects. The lightning, R2D2 is covered in lightning. Looks like something from he falls over on his face. But Oh yeah, I remember that. That chi chi chi. It's so funny how like these little sounds I remember so well. You know, it's like when you have like a movie that you've seen so many times, like Home Alone. um, you remember not only the lines of dialogue, but you remember the exact way that you said them, you know? Like I could try and do the, look what you did, you little jerk. And then you could tell me like, that's not exactly how he said it. I mean, personally, I think that is pretty much exactly how he said it. But if I was like, look what you did, you little jerk, then you'd be like, no, he didn't say it like that. He was like, look what you did, you little jerk. But yeah, we're talking about Star Wars here. It looks like they're carrying a dead body. Yeah, I remember when I brought in the Blu-ray version to my French class once, because oh man, this is a kind of a long story here, but like in French class, we would occasionally watch a movie, and of course, we'd watch it in French, but we'd always be like asking, and and everyone, like every single day when French class was starting, one of the students would be like, est-ce que nous voyons, I can't remember exactly how to speak French anymore, but like, est-ce que nous voyons un film? Like, are we watching a movie? And then I remember our French teacher would get like, she wouldn't get like really angry, but she'd just kind of like laughingly point out, like, we can't have a movie every single day, so why are you asking every single day? Which was honestly kind of not really a good point on her, because it's like, well, mate, like, we're asking every single day specifically because we don't have it every single day. So we just constantly walk it. I know that might be a little bit strange to, if we just had, what the frick? That's like a red R2D2 and he looks like he had like an actual like face. It is kind of weird. Like, it is kind of weird because like, Jesus, like he looks like he has teeth and like a bunch of eyes. But it is weird, because like my cat Smudge, I would like point out like Smudge has a weird face compared to us humans, and it would be like, well, obviously, because he's a cat. But it's like, well, yeah, I know, but like still, like it's weird how they have such a different face. Like, I feel like that's like almost a racist statement there. But yeah, it is weird how like R2D2, we've kind of just accepted that that's what his face looks like. C3PO, we've accepted that this is what his face looks like. R2D2, it's like weird to think about this red light and his weird camera lens. That's heartwarming. But yeah, like it is weird how we see him as a face. And I think that's partially because we're so used to all these different animals on Earth having different faces. If there was just one species on the planet, would we have even thought of the idea of having different species? Or like how long would it have taken for us to come up with the idea of the possibility? But yeah, I remember when I brought this movie into French class and, we were watching Star Wars and people were like, "Oh, I'm that guy." Like they were making jokes like, "I'm in the movie, I'm that guy." And then eventually that weird truck thing. I remember one of the people was like, "No, I'm the big truck right there." It was funny at the time. I'm not sure if it's really funny anymore. But is that a garbage bin? Wait, was that a walking garbage bin? I swear that was a walking. It probably is. Like Daleks were made from just digging stuff in a recycling bin. Does he have like two camera lenses? Like he has the red light, and then he has the other lens like above, and then he has like another over beside the red light that's kind of like sticking out a bit. I just got a whole bunch of monks here. Will this never end? Sounds like the pandemic. I don't want to talk about the pandemic, man. I'm already calling this pandemic podcasts, aren't I? Like, what? Like, I don't know. That seems like such a weird thing to call it, but at the same time, like, I am doing it because there's nothing better to do because of the freaking pandemic. Yeah, I'm only taking two university courses right now. I don't really want to talk about it, honestly. I've talked about it so many times with so many other people, and I doubt that you guys really want to hear about it too. If anything, I just want to let you know that, I know that we're all sick of hearing that we're in this together, you're not alone, but like, guys, you're not alone, honestly. Like, I won't accept it. Like, there are so many people, so many a-holes out there that are like, oh, the pandemic will last forever. Like, no, no. Like, no. There's no freaking way. There's no freaking way. There is just no freaking way. Screw that. If the pandemic lasts like longer than 5 years or even shorter than that, just call me up and we can start a revolution here. Because like I would always ask like even back in April and May, I was asking like how long will it take before we just like decide the pandemic has gone on long enough and we just get rid of the restrictions regardless of anything. And people were all like, "Oh, you're being so selfish." But nowadays, like everyone seems to have that mindset anyway. Well, most of everyone. There are some people who think differently. This one guy even told me like, Oh, well, I already have everything that I want in my life. I already have a boyfriend and all that stuff. So hopefully you can just hang out with your family and feel better that way. And I was just like, screw you, man. You're seriously telling me that I should spend the rest of my life with just my family? Like, what happens when everyone else dies off and it's just me and my cousins? I just hang out with them until I die of old age? Nah, frick you. I'm sorry, I said that I didn't want to talk about it, but here I am talking a lot about it. But, yeah, Cosmonaut Quickie mentioned that Luke is kind of a whiny crybaby here, or just mainly just whiny. But yeah, it is just kind of weird. I'm looking forward, like I'm not sure if I want to watch like the Star Wars movies all in a row or if I want to like mix it up and watch some later. Oh my God, R2D2 is like trying. Hey, he did the sound again. That's weird. They just shut him down. Oh, he just whined. Okay, that robot blew up. Right, I forgot that they do take the red one and then they go back for R2D2 because the red one sucks. Monk guy was like, "What?" But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how like because apparently everyone like sees Luke as like a god, and everyone's like mad that in Star Wars 8 he didn't do much or he wasn't like the right personality or whatever or whatever. Cosmonaut Quickie said that Luke's character arc was his favorite part of Star Wars 8 because um and he mentioned like if Luke was just the god that he is in the books and in the books, and then just trained Rey. What's her name? I almost called her Leia. Um, like trained Rey and then just let her go, then it would have been boring and it would have been too predictable or whatever. It's cool that they tried something new. But apparently, all the people would have liked Luke should just been the god from the books and not done much, I guess. Hey, less is more. And now we got more Luke Skywalker content for people to make parodies with or whatever. Like if Mark Hamill dies or whatever, like Carrie Fisher did, then they can try and use footage for deleted scenes or whatever, or even scenes from other movies or whatever. It's like Babel Color, that YouTuber who did the 10 Doctors Doctor Who thing, and he just kept on taking different footage and voice recordings of the different doctors and kind of put them together. It's really, really good. Like I don't think that I could do something like that, or at least not right now. Like I'm not saying like not right now as in the pandemic and I'm tired. I mean, it is partially because of that, but also just because I don't know how to do that. I guess I could learn. I did try to learn how to use Premiere, so I'm not stuck with Windows Movie Maker. But hey, Grade A Under A worked with Windows Movie Maker, and learning Premiere is really hard. Like, geez, oh man. But then again, like, I don't know, because like just the way that Luke was like, "You're in the rebellion against the Empire," because like we always dream about going on cool sci-fi adventures like this. And just having like cool adventures and stuff like that. But it's like imagine if we knew, like everyone wants to be a superhero, but imagine if we knew that a whole bunch of other people were superheroes and we weren't. Because then the more superheroes that get added to our canon and the more superheroes that are out there, it's like, why do all these superheroes get to get in freak accidents and I don't get to have a freak accident? Or at least not one that turns me into a superhero. Probably a whole bunch of people that try to do freak accidents just to see if they become a superhero and fail. Has there been a superhero that started out as an ordinary guy and he just wanted to become a superhero, so he just threw himself into a freak accident and it just happened to work? Because there must be a bunch of people who do that and fail, but I know that would be small, but like, what are the chances that everyone who does become a superhero ends up getting into a freak accident by accident instead of on purpose? Yeah, I always found it weird. Like, as a kid, I didn't realize that it was like Leia reaching down for a card there until like much later. But like I was always like wondering why in the recording she like talks and then she looks over to the right and then leans down a bit. I was always wondering why that was the case. Now I do. Oh, okay, so that's a flashlight. The thing right next to the red light was R2D2's flashlight. Yeah, apparently the guy who played Obi-Wan Kenobi didn't even like the movie. This is so weird how we like associate actors so much. Like I was talking about the Star Wars books. I saw this interview with Mark Hamill. I think that's his name for Luke Skywalker, right? And the way that it's just like, and he asks him like, you got all this new canon with Luke from the books and all this stuff. How is that going to add into the way that you play the character? And Mark Hamill's like, you'll find out. But yeah, it is weird, like, how with Doctor Who especially, we associate the characters so much with the actors. Like Davies, that YouTuber, had to like remind us that like the Brigadier and Nicholas Courtney aren't the same people, you know? It is so weird, like Big Finish just recast John Hurt. It is weird though how they tried to make like a new guy do an impression of John Hurt as an old guy when it's supposed to be a younger John Hurt, isn't it? It's supposed to be John Hurt or the War Doctor right after he regenerated? But whatever. But like yeah, it is weird. And then like even like so that like the Twitters of course split on that, saying like, oh, you can't recast the legend or whatever. But it's like they're like how long would it take for Tom Baker to be dead before you recast him? Like mate, like they're not trying to say that they didn't play the Doctor. They're just trying to give us new stories. Like that's what Davey said. They're not trying to convince us that they dug up poor Pat Troughton, and they're not trying to show off that Fraser Hines has a good second Doctor impression. Although maybe that is partially what they're doing, but they're just trying to give us new stories. But yeah, it is weird, because like with the TV show, you need actors and visuals and audio. With Big Finish, you just need the actors and audio. With Titan Comics, if you can visualize it, it's fine, and you just need to draw it. And with a book, you can literally do whatever you want. Like I have this book called Spaceland, and I have like I've written like my own like kind of fan fictions based on Flatland, because Flatland is my favorite book, even though it was written in the 1800s, and I don't recommend the first two-thirds. Despite it being my favorite book, I have yet to read the last chapter of the second third of the book because I was just so turned off of it by then. And then I just decided like, okay, screw this. I'm just gonna skip ahead to this actual story. But yeah, like in that book, you can just describe how, the fourth dimension was vinward and boutward, but you can't really get someone to actually visualize that, but who cares? It's a book. It's such a shame that like in movies and TV shows, I don't think we'd really be able to do that. We wouldn't be able to have like characters visiting the fourth dimension unless if it's like off screen or whatever, and like a one-off episode of a TV show or something with a new gimmick every week or whatever, like Doctor Who. I saw this article actually that was like, why doesn't Doctor Who, like, they've already done alternate realities a bit, why not do alternate dimensions and try to visit the fourth dimension or whatever? I guess the problem with that is that'd be difficult. It's difficult to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, it would be great. Was if we could do it. Maybe someone will find a way. I don't know. So apparently this scene is iconic with the two suns. One of them's white, the other one's orange. Is that just because the other one's setting? But yeah, I remember when I was watching this with my older stepsister, and apparently right here, the way that Luke's looking at the suns, and she was like, "Marry me," as in like, "Marry me, Luke." It's like, jeez. But yeah, it's weird because like I'm sure like for me until Davies convinced me to check out the comics too, even though ironically I did read the comics a bit before Big Finish or whatever. But it is weird how like some people out there I'm sure will just only consider the TV show and Big Finish canon because they're the ones that actually have the actors. But like with books and Titan comics, like again, like these are just fictional characters. Like just because that the actor died doesn't mean that they can't be recast. It is weird, like seeing the way that everyone like complains about Star Wars and Carrie Fisher must play Leia. You can't recast her or anything like that. And it's just like, that's funny because that's how we talk about Doctor Who a lot. I'm sure there are a lot of franchises that are like that. What is Luke looking for here? It's weird glasses. It looks like a Mars rover, like with some sort of mushroom light bulb. Why are you shutting the power down? I guess because it's night, I guess. Like just the way that we turn off our lamps, but instead they turn off the power to their entire house. Was that would be a commercial break, wouldn't it? If it was being broadcasted on TV. But nowadays we don't have original cuts. It is like weird how like, how much TV is like dead, or at least broadcasted TV. I remember like I saw like this TV channel. I was just watching this TV channel and they're advertising how they're playing For the Dark World like on Wednesday at 8 p.m. and it was like Saturday. But it was just so weird. Like I was just like, why are you like advertising that you're gonna play Thor: The Dark World on Wednesday at 8 p.m.? Like mark it for your calendar. Mark it for your calendar so that we can watch Thor: The Dark World. It must be Wednesday at 8 p.m. We don't want to miss it. It's not like we can't just like get our own copy, pirate it. It's not like Thor: The Dark World's a really entertaining movie or anything. I guess they still have the rights to Thor: The Dark World or whatever. Do they have the rights to Thor Ragnarok? I feel like they'd have like the rights to Thor and Thor: The Dark World, but not Thor Ragnarok. Hey, crap. I think I can hear like some sort of static coming out of the VCR. Like I can live with that. I'm fine. I'm fine with it. It's just like stuff like this where like I'd be like, "Are you guys okay with it? You guys watching the movie with me, but you guys got your own copy here." Dang, that's really annoying. I'm not sure how I'd fix that. I remember there was an issue with the visuals, but I managed to fix that too, because this is a VHS. Well, that was like a jump scare. Geez, like I haven't actually seen that many. Holy crap, he's like a monster. That was like some sort of Friday the 13th thing, which I haven't actually seen. Yeah, this is another reason why I wanted to start it, is because there's a whole bunch of movies out there that are considered so popular, and yet I actually haven't seen them. It's really weird. Okay, I'm gonna do a thing where I try to pause it, and then I'm gonna stop the recording just so that I have what I do, and then yeah, okay. So I'll try and synchronize it. I don't think that you guys will have to do anything. Just hang in there. Future me, I'm stopping now. Right on the Friday the 13th monsters with the red car. So yeah, I seem to be fine. That's good. Obviously, if it wasn't, then that would suck. Oh wait, this is a scene where it's not really a monk, right? It's Obi-Wan and he takes off his hood or whatever. Just sorry, spoilers. Yeah, I saw that clip from the Star Wars prequels. Apparently, a whole bunch of people out there are obsessed with the Star Wars prequels. And there's like a scene where young Obi-Wan comes down. He goes, "Hello there," and I didn't realize that that was a reference to when he says "Hello there" here. It's like weird how he takes off his hood and it's like, oh, it's just an old guy. He can't be that bad. He's just an old guy. Old guys couldn't possibly be villains. I'm wondering if I should have taken a break between those takes here because, like, it is just like it is just kind of weird, just having to find things to talk about just by myself. It would be nice if I had someone else to talk to here. I don't know. The Jundland? Wait, I have the VHS subtitles on, and he said the Jundland. Oh wait, but now he says what and he spelled brings as B-N. Did he just spell bring as B-N-E-G? Okay, now the subtitles seem to be going fine. Or maybe the subtitles were always fine. I don't know. I don't know how these subtitles work. Like they must be like programmed into the VHS or something. Like these VHSs, like just like think about them. Like we take all these digital and DVD things for granted, but then when I put in a VHS, I just get reminded like, wow, these are like really complicated the way that they work. Oh my God, he's Obi-Wan? What a big spoiler. Yeah, there's a bunch of like articles online of like movies that you must watch before you die. But like so many of them I know nothing about. Like here, like 100 classic movies that everyone should see. Anyways, IMDb, I like to see like little things to, okay, here we go. So like 2001 A Space Odyssey is apparently a movie that like it sounds like is that the arm of E3PO? Yeah, 2001: A Space Odyssey sounds like it's a movie that I would like, but apparently there's a whole bunch of people that just don't get it or whatever. The Godfather, haven't seen that. Citizen Kane, haven't seen that. I think Star Wars is on this list. See, and this is random videos like La Dolce Vita from 1960. What the frick is that? Seven Samurai from 1954. In the Mood of Love from the year 2000, which looks like it's from the 60s, but in color. Singing in the Rain. Ah, man. I'm probably gonna have to check out a musical at some kind at some point. I just don't, musicals just don't resonate with me, I think is the right word, because it's like, why are they breaking into song? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. There are people who are like, oh, well, we break into song every time we do the dishes. And it's like, okay, never invite me to your, actually invite me to your place because I really want to see that. Yeah, The Dark Knight, of course, is on this list. Yeah, I tried to. I think I did watch Batman Begins, but I just honestly found it boring. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll do that movie too. But then I just haven't seen The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises yet. See, like, why are all these movies considered like so popular and yet I've never heard of them? Freaking Do the Right Thing from 1989. The Rules of the Game from 1939. There's Jaws. I think I was scared to watch Jaws as a kid. Look at this lightsaber here. So apparently, like they changed it to a green lightsaber because apparently the blue ones were hard to see that they were blue, and apparently a lot of people thought that they were white, which is honestly fine. But like here with the VHS quality anyway, I can see it as blue, definitely. I wonder, like maybe in the original movie theater cut, it was hard to see it as blue. Maybe it's like the one edit that they made to this VHS besides the Episode 4 A New Hope thing was that they made it the blue thing a little bit more obvious. I don't know. I remember I asked, like, why are the Jedi's lightsabers blue and the Sith, I think are red? And then my older sister was like, because blue's a positive color and red's a negative color. And I was like, but why? So weird. My older sister would always say weird things. I don't mean to like call her out or anything like that, but I remember she would like, I would say that I would never want to drink coffee, and she's like, just wait till you're my age. And I'm just like, why? What happens when you're your age? And she's like, well, once you start, you never stop. And I'm just like, well, yeah, but what if I never start? Well, guess what? I'm older than she was at the time, and I still don't drink coffee. Although I do get why some people feel the need to. I just trying to hold back, I don't, a whole bunch of people say caffeine is a drug. I just don't want to become dependent on it. So I know this is a Star Wars commentary and I should be talking about this. I am like talking about this stuff. It's just like, this is such a popular movie. Like, I know that this is hard. This is another thing that everyone says, but it's just like, it's hard to find anything new to say about it. But yeah, this is just kind of a practice run too. This is the pilot of the podcast. And what is this? Number 31 on this article of movies that you must check out is called The Passion of Joan of Arc, made in 1928. Jesus, Once Upon a Time in the West, 1968. Same time as Planet of the Apes. It's quite a shame that oh shoot, I dropped something. What do you think? I think it's okay. It's quite a shame that I've seen Planet of the Apes already, because it's definitely a movie that I would have liked to have done a podcast here without knowing the twist. Because I honestly didn't know. I legit, like, I have made one video about Planet of the Apes, I think, where I just kind of did a mini review of all the movies. But I kid you not, I thought that Planet of the Apes was a documentary about apes in the wild. I did not realize that it was a fictional sci-fi movie until it was kind of weird because, like, I guess I should be saving this for a Planet of the Apes documentary, but or podcast or whatever. But like, I just saw the Honest trailer for Planet of the Apes 2001, and then in the Honest trailer, they showed the image of the Statue of Liberty sticking out of the sand, and I was like, oh, wait, that's like an iconic image. I've seen that somewhere before. And I did some research on it, and then I found out the twist, and I was like, oh, I mean, why is it, spoiler alert, like, why is the Statue of Liberty confirmed that it's on Earth? It's like because the Statue of Liberty is on Earth, and I'm just like, well, yeah, but like like they were okay like saying that everything was just similar up to this point, so why not they just happen to make another Statue of Liberty too? Maybe it's the book, maybe it's like the book. I guess the thing is that this just the Statue of Liberty is just too much of a coincidence. Tokyo Story, made in 1951. What the? Pulp Fiction, I've heard of that one. Mainly because in the classic Doctor Who Honest trailer, they mention like this dude from Pulp Fiction's in the movie. It's quite a shame because there are a lot of movies out there that I think are that like well like not that I think is in my opinion. It's just like I haven't seen them, but I think that they're really good. But it can be hard to get into something like when there's a movie that's only considered good because of the twist, then it's hard to get into it unless if you already know the twist, but then that kind of just ruins the experience of the show anyway. Smudge is asking to go outside. Smudgy, it's too wet outside, and also I'm doing this thing. I got this headphones hooked up. Hopefully you guys can still hear me after I dropped something. The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, made in 1964. What the heck? Yeah, if you guys have any recommendations or anything like that, I don't know how popular this is gonna be, but yeah, like I'd totally be up for it. Yeah. I don't know, like, if you guys are okay, like just wait, like watching for a whole hour. Just like, just like the next time that you want to watch Star Wars, just put this thing of my voice next to it, synchronize it. Say, just press play when I said it at the beginning. See, like as a kid, when I'm watching movies like that, I don't really pay attention to the plot. Like I still don't really get the plot of this movie. Like what's even happening here? Like just the way they're talking, it's just like, oh, whatever. As a kid, you're just like, oh, it's a movie, you know? At least it's something going on. I don't know how kids these days grow up, like with just new content out all the time. It's a movie called Chinatown, made in 1974. Oh, dang, what is this? The Seventh Seal, made in 1957. Just got some dude playing chess against death. Bro, if the movie's just that, if the movie is just a dude playing chess against death for 90 minutes, I'm totally watching it. 91 minutes, mind you, it's a little bit long. Just kidding. Yeah, I tried to make a list of like the best movies per year, but I couldn't find anything for 1976 except this movie called Taxi Driver, which everyone's on about. Night of the Living Dead. That's so weird. I didn't actually realize that that was like a movie. I guess I gotta watch that because yeah, like everyone parodies at least the name Night of the Living Dead. I thought it was like Night of the Living Mummy or whatever. And there's like Children of the Corn too, right? Like that's not on this list, but I remember like in Arthur, an episode of Arthur, they say like, "Oh, we're watching Children of the Beans," and then it was like my mom was like, "Oh, that's like funny because the movie's actually called Children of the Corn, but I guess in this world it's Children of the Beans because copyright." So many of the movies on this list are in black and white. I wonder, like, that is weird because, like, back in the day, back in the days when, like, this movie was made, like, this was made in 1977, right? So, was color TV still, like, a weird thing to have? Or not a weird thing, but just, like, a cool advanced thing to have? Yeah, I was doing a trivia thing, and I was just like, I actually managed to get first place in the trivia. It was amazing because I was falling really behind. But then they started asking, like, how many characters have wielded Mjolnir? And it's like, oh, three. Imagine if it was a Doctor Who trivia, and it's like, how many incarnations of the Doctor did the Brigadier encounter? It's like, oh man, like, are we including audio dramas? Are we including comics? Well, now what's going to inject a needle? I don't actually remember that, but I think as a kid that probably would have scared me, the needle thing. Because yeah, I hated the idea of needles. I think it's because as a kid, in kids shows, like there's always like, especially in kids shows that are mainly just about teaching them life lessons, like Arthur. One of the episodes, of course, not of Arthur. I can't remember what the show was, but it was like one of the episodes was like the character was worried about getting a needle, so then they have a nightmare. And I don't get what the purpose of the nightmare sequences in kids shows are. I guess it's like to just amplify it beyond comprehension to say, see, at least like it can't possibly be that bad. They want the kids to go like, oh, this character is silly because it obviously can't be that bad. But like they showed like a massive needle, like the size of like a rocket. Well, like not the size of a rocket, but like just carrying it over their shoulder, and it was like huge, and it was like, geez. I think I was scared of needles ever since for a while. But right now I understand what they are for and stuff like that. Yeah, so they're riding. Well, why are they standing over a cliff? Why are you just looking at it though? Why don't you just already go there already? They like just had the little clip of them standing on a cliff. This is where this is where in the special edition they have a whole bunch of bad CGI monsters that get in the way and stuff. Is R2D2 just lying dead, or is he just like unconscious because they need him to be to for that, or need to pretend to be unconscious? I mean, they might as well just do it actually, because what if they scan them? But yeah, Obi-Wan does a mind trick here. I remember as a kid, because as a kid, and still now, I still think that like like there are so many people out there who think that death is the worst thing, but I think that there are many other fates worse than it, and I think that one of them is mind control. Because think about it, like would you rather just die, or would you rather be mind controlled for the rest of your life, because that would be the equivalent of you dying and someone taking over your body, you know? Like you're dead, so it doesn't really matter, but they could like ruin your reputation. Like imagine if you're like body snatched, but you're like still in that body, so you're just forced to watch through your eyes and just be in that body that's completely out of your own control as you just watch some other creature that's taking over your body, just like making you do all these bad things, and then people think that you're a bad person. You're like, no, I'm still here. And the creature just leaves once they chuck you in jail, and you're like, no, I swear I didn't do any of the crimes. I was body snatched. Like, geez, like that's freaking terrifying, man. I know that everyone knows that's terrifying, but it really like, it's just something that like really scared me as a kid. Maybe people just don't like to talk about it or something. I don't know. Oh, oh, there's a Yeti. Yeah. And pitch meetings, screen rant pitch meetings mentions that Satan is in this room, isn't he? There's like a freaking werewolf. There's like an astronaut. They just grabbed whatever costumes they could find. They're just like, yeah, okay, as long as it doesn't look human, it's fine. Oh, there's some humans in here too. They probably took whatever costumes came in, honestly. Just anything that looked alien enough. There we go, there's Satan. There's the silence from Doctor Who blasting away at a saxophone or whatever. Yeah, it is weird, because like when you're watching this for the first time, you don't realize that that's like, oh, that's Chewbacca, the character Chewbacca. You're just thinking like, oh, there's another character that I guess Obi-Wan's talking to. Is that guy a freaking racist? He's like, we don't want them here. Jeez. Yeah, I've never been inside a bar, but like, I want to know, like, is it really as bad as these movies depict it, or has it gotten better? Like the pandemic really did hit like right when I was about to enter the real world. So it's just like terrible. But I'm still like getting by. I'm finding some stuff to do. I hope that you guys are doing okay. Like I really do. Like I really do. Like oh, there's Satan again in the background. Freaking started the pandemic. Yeah, there's a new movie out called The Lighthouse, right? That came out that like last year, and it's like black and white. It's funny because I'm watching all these reviews saying like, yeah, the movie's great. Like it's not like the best, but it's really, really good. And I'm just wondering, like, no one seems to be commenting that it's made in black and white. It's just like, am I just colorblind and don't know it yet? Like, why aren't you guys like, why is the movie in black and white? Like I guess that must add something to like the tone of the film or something. But like, what does it add? I gotta stop talking about all these other movies, or I'm gonna not have anything to say for those movies. But then again, I haven't seen the. Oh dang, Obi-Wan just murdering people with the. Dang. Oh my God. Jeez, that arm had like blood on it. Yeah, you can definitely tell that lightsaber is blue though. What is this movie? Doctor Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. What the frick? There's a movie made in 1964 called Doctor Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Jesus. There's a movie made in 1931 that's just called M. Yeah, have you seen those weird things online that are like, these are 10 things that I know about you for sure? It's like, number one, you are reading this. Number two, you can't say the letter M without touching your lips together. Number three, you just tried it. Number four, you're smiling. Number five, now you're laughing. And then it's like, number 10 is you will share this with like friends or whatever. And it's like, you're wrong about that one. So here's Han Solo and Chewbacca. Sorry, that's probably the least interesting thing. But, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's all like opinion. I don't know how you guys are thinking. But it's just like it's funny how like I'm trying to think of interesting things to say, and then eventually I just got dumbed down to here's Han Solo and Chewbacca in a scene. Chewbacca looks kind of I don't know. Chewbacca looks kind of scared, honestly. That's weird. I ran out of my drink. I could try chewing gum, but I don't know if that would like interfere with the microphone or whatever. I don't want you guys to listen to that. I'm trying to hitch a ride with him. Sounds like me. I'd be like, I'm not that much of a bad driver. What sucks is that my driver's license says I'm supposed to be wearing glasses when I drive, even though I'm fine without them. It's just like my vision's like literally just on the other end of the border, so that I technically need to wear glasses. I think that the guy who gave me the test was overly cautious. My grandma's all just like, you can't convince the cops that you can drive without glasses by demonstrating that you can see because cops aren't allowed to make that kind of judgment. And I was like, well, frick that, man. Like, they can phone up whoever can make the judgment and ask them to come over, or they could just ignore it, because who cares, you know? Like, if I, like, was driving, and, like, say, like, if people saw that I was, like, flat out blind, or, like, almost blind, but on my driver's license it says that I don't need glasses, would they be like, oh, okay, well, frick me, I guess you're fine without glasses, man, because we have to go by what it says on your license. Like, screw that, man. Or maybe it's only the other way around. So stupid. They have freaking subtitles for the alien here. Okay, so here's the Han shot first thing, right? If you give it to me, I might forget I found you. This is just like a bar intimidating. Why is Han Solo touching the wall? Why am I calling him like by his first and last name? It's cool how it shows that flip of him loading the gun, because like really from every other angle, it looks like he's not doing anything with that arm. Or maybe it is like maybe he really isn't doing anything in those shots, and they're just doing with it with editing. Okay, here it is. Yes, I'll bet you have. And so started the most controversial part of the special edition ever. I mean, obviously it didn't happen here because this is the original cut. One last time released on VHS. Yeah, apparently like George Lucas, the guy who runs Star Wars or whatever, was all just like, "Oh, well, this original cut isn't what I wanted to make originally. The special edition is what I really wanted to make." And then everyone's like, "Well, okay, well, who cares, man? I don't care what movie you meant to make. I like the movie that you actually ended up making." You know, it's so weird because like obviously if this movie was released today, no one would give a crap about it because it's like so poorly made by today's standards. It's just the fact that it's a product of its time. Same with the Ghostbusters movie and politics. Sorry, I don't want to talk about politics on this podcast and end up pissing half of the very small fan base that I'll have off. But like, I just can't help but wonder, like, honestly, guys, if politics had never been created until right now, and then suddenly right now, today, some random guy thought of it, would he be able to convince the rest of human race to follow it? I don't think so. Because today it's just so hard to do, it's so hard to like have an original idea and have everyone sit and follow along. Although I think that might be partially because of politics, you know, I don't know, who cares? Who cares? But yeah, like I tried to start a thing where like if someone coughs, you say cough you, you know, like bless you, but like try to say cough you. And I tried so oh, there was an Are You My Mummy guy, but the gas mask was long. But yeah, I tried for so long to get it to catch on before I realized like the general public is just too big and too dismissive to like really catch on to that, you know? Also, it's cringy to say, I guess. So it took me for ages to realize that, oh, that's not a long gas mask. That's like an elephant nose. Like the Elephant Man. That's another movie that I should check out. I don't know. Yeah, apparently there's like an extra scene where Han Solo talks to Jabba the Hutt, which everyone hates here too, because it's like Oh, and then now it's not like we don't get to see Jabba the Hutt's big reveal in episode 6 where he's just a massive blob of living flesh, really, in a movie that, it is weird how like Star Wars is so popular, but only the first two movies ever released do people seem to universally agree on are good. Like episode 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, there's a handful of people who all think that those movies are bad. They just think that episode 4 and 5 are good. Jeez, bro, jeez. But yeah, like I had no idea about the controversy of the special edition or whatever until I was watching Ryan George's Screen Rant pitch meeting of Star Wars, and it was just, oh yeah, and then Han Solo shoots Greedo dead, and then like the guy's like, oh well, who shot first? And he's like, oh, I don't think it matters. And I was like, wait, what? Because like it's just like the way that it was played off. It was like, okay, that was definitely meant to be a joke, so obviously it does matter. And then I did some research and I was like, oh, there's this whole Han shot first bull crap. Like, it's so weird how people are so obsessed with like a scene that only lasts for like 3 seconds. Not even. So I've gone like 30 seconds without saying anything. But yeah, I don't really know what to say here. I mean, there's actually a lot of things I could say, but honestly, my mouth is dry. Maybe we should have an intermission or something. Should we have an intermission? I don't know. It's just I'm worried that I'm gonna have an intermission and then I'm never gonna finish it. You know? That's the problem. There's so many videos that like I try to start it and then I'm just like, okay, time for a break. And then I take a break and then I just never get back into it. It just sucks. Wait, so this guy, he's Peter Cushing, isn't he? Like this general guy is Peter Cushing from the Doctor Who Dalek movies. But I think that like he is like Peter Cushing because everyone's like, oh, it's Peter Cushing. 'Cause apparently he's like in CGI or whatever in Rogue One. Spoilers. Yeah, did you see the honest trailers where it shows like all the comments that recommended it, and it's like none of these guys know how to spell rogue, and it's funny because the way that they spelled it is how I thought you spelled it too. Who cares? English is changing all the time. We now have suspicious as sus. I mean, like I guess it's just easier to type and it's saving syllables and saving time, but it's like suspicious is such a fun word to say. It's so weird how people are like, oh, it's a few seconds, Callum. It's okay if you need to take a few extra seconds to put on your glasses. But then at the same time, they're like, oh, you're wasting precious seconds. Look, we arrived at a red light. If we were leaving just a few seconds earlier, the light would have been green here. You can only really use that argument if it's the first traffic light that you come to, because otherwise you could say, oh, well, technically it could still be red because we could have been interfered from the other traffic lights beforehand. I actually need to take a bathroom break. Sorry, wait. Okay, so the Death Star is firing a green laser. Okay, do you want, I'll just do the sinking thing again, so that hopefully you guys won't have to do anything, okay? Okay, so Luke is looking at a ball thing. He's using the Force with a lightsaber. I felt a disturbance in the Force. And future me, I'm about to stop right now. Okay, and we're back. I just went for a walk. Uh, Drink some more orange juice. Have a new glass. Okay, we're fine. Oh, shoot. Okay, yeah, because people were talking how in Star Wars 8 those weird figurines are like fan service. I guess they're fan service for this movie. But so that's like a circular chess. I always wanted to know Sheldon's three-person chess from The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, the stupid show. But like, yeah, I know that's like made up. Like the point is that's supposed to be stupid. But I really want to know how the time machine works and the jetpacks and all that. Chewbacca just puts, he's just threatening them very passively by letting Han do the thing. There, see, I just called him Han instead of Han Solo. But yeah, like even like Sheldon's just original rules from the original game for three-person chess. Like what was it again? Like there's a slither that slithers towards something. Like how does that work? That's a serpent. It's a serpent. Is that like a mini Death Star? Be like the serpent in the three-person chess. Like how does it slither? Like it can only move in zigzags. Like it can move like diagonal, but only by one space, and then it has to move in the other direction diagonally? And how many places can it move at a time? I guess just as many as it wants, I guess. Because, like the queen can do that, and the rook and the bishop, they can move as many spaces as they can. Yeah, because spoilers, in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, Han, Luke, and Leia all die one by one. But, people were talking about, like, Han is actually dead because he never used the Force, whereas the other ones get to become Force ghosts. It's like, oh, jeez. It's stupid. Why do the others get to live on as Force ghosts while Han is dead? Your eyes can deceive you, don't trust them? So you're gonna go in blind instead? See, in this shot here, it's a lot harder to see that the lightsaber is blue. It looks a lot more white, but you can still see that's kind of blue. It's just a bunch of bull crap. Just trust your feelings, and you'll be psychic. Oh, look, you're psychic now. The Force is very much just being psychic in that sense. Because isn't it like it's not until the next one that they start using the Force to like move objects? That's why everyone was like, you shouldn't be controversial when they add new stuff to the Force, because imagine if in Star Wars 5 they're just like, you can't use the Force to move objects because it was never in the first movie. For poor Han. I feel bad for people with closed minds like that? Like they're jerks, yeah, but like you can't help but wonder, like what, like imagine what it must be like to have a closed mind like that. It's hard to tell sometimes, especially when you're in an argument. It's hard to tell if you're the one with the closed mind or not. I have a few rules. Like normally, if someone like is saying the same thing over and over again, or is leading me to like is just kind of saying the same arguments but phrasing them differently, just so that they can be like, "Oh, mate, you're saying the same things over and over again." And I'm just like, "Yeah, but that's because that you're saying the same things over and over again too. It's just you're phrasing them differently." Then that normally means that they're the one with the closed mind. I think. I don't know. So apparently the actors who play Han and Obi-Wan don't even like Star Wars. I was like, okay. Apparently Luke's like the only one who's like really invested. Because apparently like they're thinking of making like a Luke Skywalker solo movie, which when you think about it is the only thing that they can do, and it makes sense? Because like Han doesn't want to do any more movies. Leia's dead. So a Luke Skywalker solo movie is really all they can do. Have Luke team up with Chewie. He has to have Chewbacca. That's like weird? Because like again, you can always recast, but if like recasting was completely off the table, I mean, I don't know who plays Chewbacca, but like no one would freak out if you get a different actor under the suit. I doubt it is like I don't know, whatever. It's like Chewbacca is essentially immortal in that sense because you can just keep on recreating the fursuit. The Death Star, I thought that was a thing on the view of the window, but no, it's a little ball. Sorry, I'm sorry that I kind of breathed into the microphone a little bit hard there. I'm trying to adjust my microphone to see if I can make it so that doesn't happen. Or maybe I just need to be gentle with my breath or speaking. I don't know. Isn't it like the ship like goes in like kind of like a pancake because it's flat, so it goes into through the middle of the Death Star? I remember as a kid I always found that fascinating because it's a giant ball. Doesn't even look like there's a gap there, and yet there is. I remember once when I was in grade two and I was just sitting in this group for gym, and then I just started backing away towards the other end. And that was the first time that I realized, like, oh wow, as you get further away, things look like they're getting smaller. Fascinating. I remember in kindergarten when like my voice started to change for the first time, and even my teachers were like, "Are you getting sick or something?" But I was like, "No, I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine. It's just like that's just how my voice changes, I guess, as I grow up. This is cool." A lot of people think that I'm not accepting of change, but I think I am. It's just like sometimes when I feel like something's getting worse, then I don't like change. Yeah, I know that's how I want to do. So dang, like that gap in the Death Star was really freaking big because the ship was like had no problem fitting in. He like had plenty of room to move around. So this movie is very much just about rescuing a freaking princess. Like that's just so like stereotypical. It's so weird. Like even for 1977, it sounds stereotypical. It's like, was this trying to be a fairy tale or something? What the frick was that? He was like mid-sentence. He's like, a presence that I have not felt since, and then he just leaves. See, checking every part of the ship like this, like if your target is a human and moves, then they can always just keep on moving around and barely miss you. Oh yeah, they come out of the floor here, like in the vents or whatever. And this is close to when they're in the with the walls closing in, right? Because I remember one of my friends from elementary school. Like I was able to do that too. Like a lot of people commented how like, especially as a kid when my mind was a lot clearer, I could memorize like every single aspect of some shows that I watched, like down to the camera angles. But I remember when I found out like someone we were just like, "Hey," because it was recess, and we were like, "We could just do Star Wars." And we're just like, "Yeah, but I can't remember like every single detail from Star Wars." And they're like, "Oh, this guy can. He's a huge Star Wars fan." I was like, "Really? Wow." Like an entire movie you have completely memorized. Jeez. Even as a kid, I was like, "Wow." Whereas now I don't even know. I'm sure there are tons of people who have Star Wars memorized. I think I probably have Back to the Future memorized, if I tried. Maybe I'd just miss a scene, but if you just told me, hey, you missed that scene, then I'd be able to like tell you. Like, like maybe I miss out the one where Marty and his dad or his young dad are doing laundry or whatever. But if you just told me like, oh, hey, you missed the laundry scene, I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, well then this happened. Because the first line it is like, how can I go to the dance with her if she's already going to the dance with you? Because, George, she wants to go with you. She just doesn't know it yet. Right, so they're in disguise there, right? I'm trying to remember stuff from the movie. Whoa, I was like, Chewbacca just flat out punched him. Just reaching back for a punch, and I was like, wait, you're not actually gonna punch him, are you? I have a craving for a chocolate milkshake from McDonald's. I don't go to McDonald's anymore because they keep on getting rid of their milkshakes. They got rid of the Arctic Orange and the peppermint that came out every Christmas, and even the raspberry. I remember once when I was in America, and I was like, "Oh hey, we have a raspberry milkshake over here," and they're like, "Oh man, that's heaven." And then they got rid of it. And R2D2's doing some hacking. I'm just wondering, like, what happens if I accidentally burp or something right into the microphone? Jeez, that's a weird database showing up on the screen. Aldrin? Was that one of the planets that blew up? I assume so, it must be. Sorry, I'm breathing in the microphone way too much. I'm gonna try and put my microphone lower. Are those like the last words that Obi-Wan says to Luke? The Force will be with you always? See, I don't want to put it too much below my chin because I'm not sure if it'd pick up my voice. It probably will, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's nowhere near losing my voice, or maybe it does lose my voice. Either way, I probably look like an idiot. Even Han's like, what is this, 1930? Then again, like this movie takes place a long time ago. It's so weird. Like it's so futuristic, and it's supposed to take place a long time ago. I take it Earth might have not even formed yet, or at least hasn't formed intelligent life. Earth is probably just another rock at this point. It hasn't even cooled down from the lava. Is Hell just Earth when it first formed? Probably, but it's not for eternity. Maybe it's like some sort of time loop. But if it's a time loop, then you definitely get used to it because it'd just be the same events over and over again. You get used to it eventually. I don't know, there's so many problems with the idea of hell. Just so many, both from a moral standpoint and from a literal standpoint. Because even the show The Good Place mentions, like, when you're trying to, like, put someone through torture, eventually they get used to it. Even if it takes, like, trillions of years, they'd eventually get used to it. Yeah, because there's a line later in the movie where Leia's like, if money's all you want, then that's what you'll receive. I remember that from watching it with my aunt once. But it's like, yeah, because they bribe Han here with money, right? He goes through a character arc or something. Yeah, because I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but in the interview before this on the VHS tape, yeah, I was going to mention it, but then I talked about that commercial about the one last time thing. But George Lucas, I think, was the one being interviewed. It must have been. And he's talking about how apparently his agent was like, it's a hit. But George Lucas was like, nah, all movies are a quote unquote hit on the first 2 weeks. Wait for like the third week. But then it kept on getting super popular. Well, that's cool. And then George Lucas is like, oh, well, it's not the movie that I meant to make, so now I'm going to ruin it with the special edition. Chewbacca just roared at a tiny toy car and it chased it away. That's actually impressive, because normally toy cars don't run away when you roar at them. Some sort of camera, probably. I don't know, stupid. See, like 517 to scan control. Like, how the heck did they put that into the script? Does that actually mean anything? I'm sure it does in the in-depth Star Wars lore. I don't know. 53 to cover bay door. Are the numbers like the different guys walking around? I don't know. I know I probably shouldn't mention this, but I just can't help but notice that pretty much all the guards walking around here are white guys. I don't want to be like SJW, everything should be diverse, but like it should be fair. I mean, it is 1977, and it's supposed to take place a long time ago. Oh, there's Obi-Wan, he's just sneaking around like an idiot. If people found me sneaking around, or really anyone sneaking around just like that, they would call him an idiot, especially if he got caught. Because he's literally just running from pole to pole. I guess it's better than just running straight at them and hoping that they don't ever turn around. But still, like every time that you cut from pole to pole, you're hoping that they don't turn around. So it's like. The guy was clearly on wires, but Chewbacca like striked him. I almost said stroke him, but that was sounded wrong. It's like, I know that people would flip if you ever tried to like recreate Star Wars 4, especially on a frame by frame basis. I mean, like, then you get trouble with like the special edition or whatever. But I can't help but wonder, like, what if we recreated it, but then replaced it so that I know that probably people are gonna flip crap, but I just can't help but I can't really get over the fact that everyone here is just a white guy. So it's like, it's just like make it diverse a little bit, make it fair, audition some other people. Because like, by all means, of course, like if a guy, if someone's the best for the job, then they're the best for the job. But like I doubt that everyone who's the best for the job just happened to be a white guy. Probably talked on too much about this. I remember once I was watching with someone and then he was just like, "Oh yeah, shooting the thing is gonna work." And why did Han suddenly become like a bumbling goofball in that scene? Like he's been so serious up until then, and now it seems like he doesn't know what to do. Huh? Wait, how tall? I know that shouldn't matter, but how tall is Mark Hamill? I hope it's Mark Hamill, because it's like if I got the name wrong, then that's really awkward, especially for anyone who's like a huge Star Wars fan. Ooh, Elizabeth the First is starring in the first Doctor Adventures Volume 5 Big Finish set. I wonder if like that's where she meets the Doctor and she's just like, "You're the Doctor. One of my greatest enemies is called the Doctor, but he looked nothing like you." He's like, "Oh, yeah, that's probably something Big Finish would do, I would think." Hmm. Mark Hamill is 5'9". That's not that. That's not that. I don't know. Isn't the average height for a man like 5 foot? Like someone said that 5'10" is the average height, and from another source I got 5'6". So it's like what? Okay, whatever. It's like whenever I see an article about COVID cases dropping, it like gives me hope, and it's like, oh man, could you imagine if the pandemic ended in just the next couple of months? Like back in May, I was like, that seemed like the maximum time that it could last, and now it's like, oh frick, whatever. I'll probably still keep calling them pandemic podcasts, assuming they're still going, because, they were birthed in the pandemic. It'll be like in 2060, they're just like, why do you call them pandemic podcasts? Well, son, you see, in the 2020s, there was a pandemic that ruined everything in the entire world. Seriously, screw anyone who says that we should just expect it to last forever. Like, frick the frick off. Like, no. Oh, here we go. Here's where the walls close in. Yeah. I think I was watching Madagascar movie. I don't remember a thing about that movie, but I do remember that once they were like in a garbage truck, and there's a scene where like it's like the walls are closing in, and the giraffe is freaking out and trying to stretch his neck out. And I was just like, hey, this is like that scene from Star Wars. And Mom's like, oh yeah, they probably inspired it. Isn't there like a line in Toy Story 2 where they try to mimic the I am your father thing? And I legit watched it and I didn't realize it was meant to be like a spoofy reference, or at least I hope it was meant to be that, because if not, then that's kind of pathetic. But like I thought it was just a coincidence. I was like, oh, that's weird. What are the chances that two movies happen to have the I am your father line? Because as a kid, you don't know what people are about, like you assume that every movie is just doing its own thing and not like referencing other things. But at the same time, you think that all adults know each other, that you're destined to know everyone before you grow into an adult and you realize that you have no idea who you know. Holy crap, that would be freaking terrifying. Yeah, I'd be like Luke there. Yeah, they're standing in liquid. Sorry about that, guys. My recording ironically crashed, but thankfully it saved what was at the time. I think I was in the middle of saying something, or like right after it crashed. But yeah, I can't remember what that was. Okay, so there's a serpent in the water. That's good though, you know. I'm glad that like if the recordings do crash, that they at least get automatically saved what I did so far. Oh my God, there's a freaking eye. I do not remember that at all. Is that like cut from the special editions because it looks crap? Oh yeah, okay, Luke's dead. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you that Luke dies in this movie. He dies in Star Wars 4, not 8, sorry. I accidentally doubled the number of movies that he lives for. And then again, I don't think he's even born after episode 3. Look at me, I'm talking about basic Star Wars lore. Proud of myself, look at how much I've grown. There we go, here's the classic scene. This was the scene that really like stuck with me. It was my favorite scene in the movie for a long time. I didn't really know how to express that it was my favorite scene, but you know, just like the walls closing in. Sorry if like my movie isn't like my movie. Sorry if like the movie that I'm watching isn't exactly synced up to what you're watching. I know that sometimes that can happen with some commentaries. It could also just be because like it's functioning at different speeds, just because of maybe the different copy that we're using or the different player that we're using. 3PO. Where could he be? They use that exact line of dialogue, like the exact same recording, like later in the scene, don't they? I'll point it out if it happens. Didn't bother to be like, who the heck are you? I guess they're just not. They're just like, oh, okay, random android. Okay, that's normal. Or they tried to make it look like they were locked up. Okay, I get it. But why aren't they like, wouldn't you have been programmed by your captors? Yeah, probably not. Maybe they just didn't know. They're madmen, of course. Maybe they just didn't think of it, or maybe they just didn't know how to do it. Only madmen wouldn't know how to do something. That's a smart idea, though, with the pole. I mean, it doesn't work, obviously, but see that right there. They just reused the exact same way that he said it again. I do like that line, but it's like man, like that would only work if like the walls reach you and then only close you in just a tiny little bit without like severely killing you. I know that's just a line, not meant to be taken seriously. The one thing for sure, it's all we're all going to be a lot thinner, but it's like, heck. I remember my dad would always like. I think like he really liked that line from dad. My dad liked it when C-3PO was like, "I forgot, I turned it off." Because as a kid, I didn't really understand it, but like now I do. Like he turned off his microphone or whatever. Was this like the first movie to do the walls closing in, or was there like? I haven't actually seen any Indiana Jones movies, but like I think that's probably something that would happen in an Indiana Jones movie. But like I think that was made after Star Wars, right? It's weird how I'm looking at these articles of the greatest movies of all time, and they all seem to include Singing in the Rain from 1952. Oh, is this the epic fight with Darth Vader? But isn't Obi-Wan coming from the right in that scene? Maybe he turns around. Okay, I don't know. Oh yeah, right. He climbs across this weird thing with the circle in the middle. I remember I really liked this part. I was like, I want to do that. I want to climb somewhere where I have heavy risk of falling off. Well, I technically did do that. I did like rock climb across the face of a cliff for like 90 minutes, though granted I did have a harness, but like there was never a moment where I fell. So really I did technically do it by myself. It's just like I'm just thinking, because like it's nice to have a harness to protect me from completely falling, but at the same time, if I fall, it's still gonna hurt if because I'll still fall for a bit and I'll like hit some rocks on the way down. Like there were times where I had to cross like a log. I just had to cross like a log, and all that I could do was balance on it. I could just balance on the log. Like I'd have to take a few steps without and I just have to trust my balance. Because the harness wouldn't be protecting me there. If I fell, I'd still like hurt my legs or a certain area on my way down before the harness gets holds me up. No reward is worth this, man. Like, man, like how easy has your life been, man? You always have to deal with annoying people. But then again, I guess I can see that and myself saying that too, because he's not meaning it literally. I don't think. I hope that my voice recordings don't start crashing often. I hope that is like a rare occurrence. If it only happens every 2 hours or something, that's fine. How long is this movie? What's the runtime? Oh, there's the music. Dun, 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 dun. Every time that I see a little flicker in my laptop out of the corner of my eye, I think that's the recording crashed again now. See, what's with that effect? Like sometimes they just cut away, but I guess sometimes they do because normally they do a fading between clips when to represent time passing, but here they do a weird fading thing across the screen. Was that the first movie to do that kind of thing, where someone's running towards someone screaming, and then the next thing they're running away? See, it's just something like that feels a little bit off, because it's well, it was obviously when he said I think we took a wrong turn. It was obviously recorded in post, because there's no way that he's talking. I mean, then again, this is a huge chamber that could echo, and that door closed really quickly too. I remember I thought that this scene was a little bit intense, not as intense as the wall closing scene, but it was intense, because the door opens a little bit and shows the stormtrooper's feet or something, right? Wait, wait, that was the sound effect. That was the sound effect. The ow, the guy falling. Wait, I didn't know that was from the original Star Wars. I didn't know that's where that was from. I didn't know that was from Star Wars, that scream effect. Oh, here we go. There's that door opening showing their feet. I was gonna say, where's the smoke coming from? But I assume it's their guns, even though their guns are lasers and not bullets. I don't know. I don't know how laser guns works. Okay, come on, the door is showing their shin. There we go. Jump. There's no way that you could actually throw a grappling hook that far and actually hook it on first try. Maybe if you were on extreme adrenaline, which they obviously would be at this point. Why does Obi-Wan have his lightsaber ready? Is he ready to actually fight someone and won't he be noticed? It's just if he gets caught, he's just going to start fighting everybody. But then again, why doesn't he do it now? I guess he just wants to see it as a last resort, I guess. The stormtroopers are more like jogging, although then again, you wouldn't be expecting them to. I love that door. I love that door. I remember I loved that door as a kid, the one that closes like a diamond. Yeah, 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 here's the epic fight scene that had to be recreated. You know, there's like someone who made like redid this scene, and part of it was featured in someone who made like a trailer for Star Wars, but it's 2020. Okay, so the runtime of this movie is no, not The Last Jedi, you jerk. A New Hope. You're right. 2 hours and 5 minutes. Wow, I didn't actually know it was that long. 90% on Metacritic, 92 on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, while they're busy fighting their sticks like two old men, which they are, I want to read a rotten review. Someone who rated the review rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. Here we go. I don't see how I can come out ahead panning Star Wars, George Lucas's science fiction film that has been acclaimed by children of all ages as the fun movie of the year. Okay, I guess I could see his full review. Molly Haskell gave it a rotten. Helen Frizzle, oh the astronomical audience, oh the mundane story, oh the over-cute little robots, one fact, one thing, one fat, one thin. Oh, the vapid actors, the galactic shootouts. Oh, the brilliant technology, and oh, the boredom of it all. I mean, yeah, yeah. These Star Wars movies are, like they're good, like I said, like I respect the franchise, but they are like really dumb, you know? Like even the Cosmonaut Quickie said that all the movies, the Star Wars movies, are pretty dumb. I mean, heck, like Disney's recreating everything else, so why don't they recreate Star Wars? I mean, they screwed up the trilogy. Everyone hates the sequel trilogy, so why not just go full Disney and just start recreating everything? Because I wasn't really. Oh wait, this is the scene where he dies. Oh shoot. See because I did 2020 portrayed by Doctor Who and in 2020 portrayed by Star Wars, they do this like George Floyd. It's okay, Luke. He comes back a Force ghost in like the next movie or two movies from now, something like that. Yeah, I remember as a kid, I was like watching it and I was like, wait, why is Darth Vader stamping on his coat and why is there nothing there? And my aunt was like, oh, just wait, just wait. There's another diamond door again. Oh, Darth Vader tried to make it, but he screwed up. Darth Vader doesn't have a laser gun, he just has a red lightsaber. Yeah, there we go. Obi-Wan's already a Force ghost. He's just a voice right now. See, like, so if you can become a Force ghost, then death means nothing. Like Obi-Wan says, if you kill me, I'll become more powerful than ever before. Yeah. So why don't, I mean, like, maybe, like, you have to die, like, some sort of noble death or something? I don't know. Again, probably huge dedicated fans of the Star Wars lore are probably cringing in anguish. I don't know how many people are going to watch this. I hope at least a few. There's the circular chessboard again. Poor Obi-Wan is dead. Everyone's trying to recreate Star Wars now. Like everyone made that fan edit in Star Wars 9 where the Force ghosts of Obi-Wan, Anakin, Luke, and Yoda are there. It's like, why didn't they just work that into the film? Like they could have, literally. They didn't have to add any more editing. The editing was already fine. Probably some people online would have criticized it or something. Like Mauler. That guy rants on for like hours and hours about the movie. Well, then again, like that's what I'm doing, but I'm watching it as I mean, whatever. Who cares? I'm not trying to criticize him for that. I know that I just did, but like, you can do whatever you want. Everyone's got to do something with their life. Hey, there we go. They're wearing headphones with microphones like mine. I mean, not exactly like mine, but it's just like. What are those things on the screen? Like that grid? Like, what was that? I don't think the static is coming from my VCR anymore. I think it's fine. Or maybe it's just these other sound effects are coming up. Isn't there a scene where like Luke blows up a ship and then Han's like, "Don't get cocky, kid," or something like that? I don't know. Like I hate to say it. Wait, was R2D2 roasting a fire? Oh no, okay, he's putting out a fire. I gotta say it, like, I'm sorry, it's dedicated Star Wars fans, but like, I'm already feeling kind of bored. Because this isn't even the final battle yet. Isn't there like a scene where Luke is like flying in that valley thing? Han just blew up a ship. I thought for a moment that it was like Luke that said, "Don't get cocky." Oh, there we go, there we go, there was the line. Richard Combs gave Star Wars a rotten rating without the simple spiritual convictions of his predecessors or the philosophical speculation of his contemporaries. Lucas had rather left his audience out in the cold. Michael J. Casey gave it a fresh rating, but just says a long time ago, dot, dot, dot. Yeah, there's like a super long scene where oh, no, okay, that wasn't it. But there's like a super long scene where something blows up, isn't it? Like, I never got as a kid why it lasts forever. I never got as a kid why the scene lasts for such a long time and the thing blowing up, but I guess it's just because in the audience you're supposed to be cheering. But I love that line where C-3PO is like, "Help! I'm melting. This is all your fault." And R2-D2 is like, "What?" I love it. Like that's like C-3PO and R2-D2's relationship in a nutshell right there. Here's Darth Vader and Peter Cushing, back when I run out of things to say again. Here we go. This is where Leia says, "If money's all you want, then that's what you'll receive." Like I remember even as a kid, I was like, "Wait, what? Really? All I have to do is want money and then I'll get it?" Because this thing has already been going on for 2 hours, hasn't it? Because there's been like 2.5 hours where I've already like stopped, and then I just did it for another 20 minutes before it crashed, and now we're just 17 minutes and 22 seconds this one here. So it's like it must over almost be done. Savage Leia. What the freak? Wait, why did Luke say I care? Wait, what's a mercenary? Here, Pauline Kael gave it a rotten rating. There's no breather in the picture, no lyricism. The only attempt at beauty is the double sunset. I mean, yeah, okay. Then again, I don't think this movie is trying to be beautiful. I think it's just trying to be fun. Which, I will give it, Like I know that I just said that I was getting bored. What is this with the forest? I don't remember this part. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know. Rob Nielsen. After Star Wars, movies not only spawned profitable kids' toys, they merged with kids' toys and basically became toys themselves. I mean, yeah, you know, like movies are very much just things to watch and have fun with. Dorothy Smidgenich. I'm sorry, I probably said that wrong. It is almost as if Lucas took recognizable characters from myth and legend and then emptied them of meaning so as not to distract his audience from his spectacular sets, monsters, and special effects. So according to my calculations, the movie should only have like 20 minutes left, right? Something like that. You guys can probably tell if you look at the runtime or whatever. See, there's that planet again that looks like Mars or Jupiter. It's right next to the Death Star. I guess they foreshadowed it earlier, and now they're like, oh, look, that planet that we showed you earlier, it's about to blow up. Isn't Lucas's planet blown up or something by now? No, it's not. It can't be because it shows up in Star Wars 9. Doesn't like Lucas's like didn't his aunt and uncle just die or something? I don't know. I think I'm probably thinking of that other movie, the one with 42 in it. What's that movie again? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Yeah, I think so. And so I should probably watch that movie too, because there's been like 3 times that I tried to watch the movie, but I just get bored halfway through, and then I just don't feel like watching it anymore. Oh yeah, I was gonna look up the definition of the word mercenary, wasn't I? Is it like a synonym for apathetic, just in the context that she used? I wonder if he cares about anything or anybody. Of a person or their behavior primarily concerned with making money or the expense of ethics, at the expense of ethics, or a professional soldier hired to serve in a foreign army. Yeah, okay. I don't know what movie I want to review next. I mean, logically, the next movie would be Back to the Future, right? Because this is like a movie about space, and that's a movie about time. It's like Star Wars is probably the most popular space movie, and Back to the Future is probably the most popular time travel movie. Or at least like there are probably other movies out there that are more popular than Star Wars and Back to the Future and have to do with space travel and time travel, but it's like Star Wars and Back to the Future were the ones that really inspired it. I know there are other time travel movies and space travel movies that came out before. I do not know what to expect from 2001: A Space Odyssey, because some people do consider it so great, and it's like you feel like you're being swept off your feet. It's like an experience. I'm not sure if I'd be able to enjoy an experience when I have a headset, but then on my head. But then again, like, I'd probably still be able to enjoy it. But apparently it's just like they were in the 1960s and they were able to do a whole bunch of effects and Star Wars wasn't made yet. So it's just like apparently there's some shots that like are just a spaceship traveling in space and it lasts for 10 freaking minutes. I'm not looking forward to watching a movie where it's just 10 minutes of a spaceship and it's like, why are we still watching this spaceship? I get it, it's a spaceship. It's weird, I want to try and find an article online of someone reviewing Star Wars just normally, because Star Wars is just such a big movie now. Like it's kind of just a movie that a lot of people just kind of leave alone because of its massive, massive fan base. When I type in Star Wars review, just gives me a whole bunch of reviews for Rise of Skywalker. Because the movie was, of course, originally called Star Wars, and now it's just Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, which the Cosmonaut Quickie says sucks. Wait, that was R2-D2, but it's white and green instead of gray and blue. The R2-D2 is a bit white too, I think. There's just a whole bunch of actors that are just in the background saying and doing nothing. Like that's not a bad thing or anything, but it's just something that I can't help but notice. Like I wonder what they were told. Like were they even given a script or were they just told like just do stuff in the background? Because it's funny, like sometimes when you're watching like scenes where there are just extras in the background, you just kind of have a wonder like they probably weren't even given a script. They were probably just told to like react as they would in real life. And then they're just watching these characters and it's like they're watching the movie themselves. Like, it might just be that they're really good actors as extras, but it's just like some extras are even pulled off the street or something. I remember my mom said that her friend is like a teacher, like in the background, just in one movie. Like she's just like a teacher, like in the background, leading these kids on a field trip. And then like she watched the movie to try and find her, but like apparently she couldn't even see her. Maybe the scene was cut, or maybe it's just like a really blink and you'll miss it extra. Who knows? That's a real big accomplishment, even just to be a blink and you'll miss it extra, just to say I was in a movie. My image will be preserved for all of mankind to see in the future, assuming they don't start junking movies like they did with Doctor Who. Okay, here we go. That guy is like doing the airport thing, but with a flaming torch that's just got a little light bulb on it. That's weird. Okay, here we go. Here's the final battle. The Force will be with you always. Okay, he didn't say always. I just knew that he was going to say the Force will be with you because of the subtitles there, actually. Whoa, geez, the red sun there is huge. Sorry, I hope that wasn't too loud. I'm sorry. So these guys are just watching through a weird palindrome thing? It's weird. Because doesn't like everyone on Luke's team die here except for Luke? Sorry, spoilers again. It's just I'm kind of assuming that everyone's seen this movie. And Luke is Red 5, I remember that. Yeah, and another one of my dad's favorite lines from the movie is when one of them's like, "It came from behind," and then it just blows up. Yeah, there's a lot of lines that my dad really likes. Like, the classic, like, "I don't need to outrun the bear, I just need to outrun you." Or where a guy's like, I'm okay," and then a whole bunch of flames light up, and he's like, "Less okay, less okay." I hope I didn't jinx it. I hope that my recording doesn't crash and then suddenly it doesn't save. Good luck, guys. So what, there's just four of you? And there's like two other ships above that look slightly different? Oh, there's a whole bunch of giant lasers. Like, not the lasers themselves, but like the things firing them. It's weird to think, because I think that they are just like miniature props in real life, right? And they're just filmed to like look huge. Well, like mad respect, Like, obviously, like so much. Like, I remember I was told that like there's apparently this one guy. I can't remember who he is. I don't think it was even mentioned in the video that he was mentioned in, but apparently, like, just because like he knows how hard it is to get any sort of movie out there, like even like not mentioning just to make a good movie, but even just to like put it out into theaters. So whenever he's seen a movie, no matter how bad it is, he'll always applaud at the end of it because he knows how hard it is to get a movie out there. I can't help but wonder, because my dream job is to be a screenwriter, like to work with other people to like write a TV show or movie or something. But it's just like with all the crap that's put out on Netflix. Like, just go onto Netflix and just start scrolling through. You'll just see like movies with the dumbest titles, and you're just like, "Oh, there's our first death." It's like, it's just like, why is there a whole bunch of crap out there? Like, I don't know. I know that you shouldn't judge a book or a movie by the cover or its title, but like sometimes the title is just like so poorly chosen. It's just like I don't want to watch it. Why are they firing at the ground? I guess maybe there's some people there. They're just killing innocent people or innocent guards or whatever. I don't know. I was just reading through Stuart's reviews, Steph's review of Resurrection of the Daleks. I don't know a thing about that story except that it has the Daleks in it. But in it, he mentions like, why is it like considered bad for the Doctor to want to kill Davros, but not for him to kill as many Daleks and Cybermen and Murka and Autons as he wants? And I was like, yeah, yeah, that is weird. Because yeah, Davros is unique, but isn't like the Murka unique? Isn't like the Murka like a really bad Doctor Who villain, like really bad, like very poorly made. Oh, hey, Luke killed someone. He made an impact. It's like whenever you're playing a game like that, it's like even if you get one basket, you're like, yes, I'm somewhat important to the team now. Yeah, see, like this guy, DJ, review from a year ago, says there's not much to say about the very first Star Wars movie that hasn't already been said. All I can hope is that what I do say manages to register for all the people that still love the movie years after its release. Wow, this review is really long. Mad respect for that. I don't want to be like cringy when I'm saying mad respect for you, bruh. Darth Vader is flying a ship too? Well, I love that shot, just going into the valley and speeding up. It like really kind of invests you in. Like imagine watching that in 3D back when 3D was cool. Is 3D cool now? I don't think it is. 3D is just kind of a lame effect now. Something cool the first 5 times that you experience it, and then it gets old. I think my dad is unfortunately like 3D blind or something. Like apparently when he wears 3D glasses, all it does is clear up the movie for him, but he doesn't actually see the effect. So I'm just like watching with him and my stepbrother, and my stepbrother's like reaching forward to try and touch the things in 3D. I'm just like, that must suck, But then again, the 3D isn't really that bad. I remember there was this one guy, Clever Dick Films is the name of his YouTube channel. And he like he's reviewing Doctor Who and he mentions dimensions and time and he's like, you can't watch it in 3D anymore. But as someone who watched it in 3D back in 1993, I can confirm that it was rubbish anyway. It's like we're staying on target. I remember that he says that twice, like the same thing again, like Luke in that other scene. I feel bad for all these guys dying. Like you barely get to know them. I guess that's why they're dying, because they don't want to kill off a beloved character. Because there's a moment, it wasn't then, I don't think, right? But there's like a moment where like Luke is completely alone, like his only other ship partner like blew up, and he was just like, "Oh, dip, I'm all alone." Because it is weird, Because imagine if Luke was one of the people who died here, and it was like someone else who managed to survive. Because it's like, yeah, it won't be with Han and Leia and Chewie, but like it'll be and C-3PO and R2-D2, but it'll be like they would have had their own story. I want to see like a movie about everyone else and like alternate timelines where they survive here after their story and how they got here. Although maybe they're just military training people and Luke's just a lucky guy. Yeah, that was apparently one of the common criticisms of the sequel trilogy is that Rey is too powerful, but then people often counter it by saying that Luke is really powerful in this movie too. He mentions that he's like a pilot or whatever to Han earlier and all that stuff. I don't know. Come in 0.35? Is that like a coordinate or something? Or is he talking to red 3 and red 5 and point? What does point mean? Does point mean like when he just doesn't want to waste time saying red? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like these last words, man. Like, come on. Almost there is the last words. How many incarnations of the Doctor's last words was ah? Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six. Seven's last word was ah. Eight's last words was ah. War's last word was ah. And I think that was it, right? There's like 11 apparently breathes, and some people interpret it as a hey. Yeah, that's weird. 7, 8, and War all have their last word technically be ah. War didn't even seem to really be in that much pain. He was just saying it. Oh, here we go. Is Luke by himself now? Oh no, okay, he's not alone yet. Well, there's at least 3 people left. There's the shot again of going into the valley. Was that just the same thing? Did they just like add a laser or something? Here's a review of Star Wars Online by Common Sense Media. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen this website before. They have like parents and kids. Both say it's rate 7 and up, and they all rate it 7. They all rate it 5 stars out of 5. But the average is apparently still 4 stars out of 5. What? Sci-fi action classic, perfect for sharing with kids. Educational value is not present. It says like A plus, but I think that that's just the little logo for educational value. I thought for a moment it was saying A plus on educational value, and I was like, really? Positive message is 4 points out of 5. Positive role models and representations, 4 points out of 5. Violence and scariness, 3 points out of 5. Sexy stuff is 1 point out of 5. Language, 2 points out of 5. Consumerism not present. Drinking, drugs, and smoking, 1 point out of 5. I guess you can't have a 0. Although maybe there is some of them, I don't know. Yeah, I like this. See, is it any good? This is one of those films that has become sewn into the very fabric of our popular culture, and yet every day new kids are born who have never seen it. Exactly, see? Like, there are these people who are like spoiling the old movies like Planet of the Apes, and I know that sometimes I do this too without thinking, but like, they're like, they specifically say, I better not hear people whining about it being a spoiler. This movie has been out for like 50 to 60 years. And it's like, let go, Luke. Yeah, I thought it might have been trust me, Luke, that he was about to say. But yeah, and then they're just like, this movie has been out for like 50, 60 years, so if you haven't seen it yet, then that's on you. I'm just like, mate, like new people are born who haven't seen it all the time. I just flat out said in the comment that he spoiled it for me. He didn't, but like I just said it to try and hope get my point across. That's right, I lied. Well, R2D2 is just sitting in the back of the ship. Right, I forgot because they were lowering that other guy in too. The green R2. Oh my God, R2D2 is dead. But R2D2 is not actually dead, obviously. Or like he's a robot, so can he just get brought back to life? Is he just like damaged or something? That's probably it. Why is he in the ship? I guess he's like functioning the ship or whatever. Like can he not do his thing now? What was R2D2 doing? Yeah, in Star Wars The Force Awakens, that guy BB-8, I refuse to call him BB-8, even though I just did twice. Technically I did once, and the second time I said that I refused to call him that. But like I always call him R2D3. Oh, there's Han. Yeah. And Darth Vader's like, what? Like, it's too fast for me to get it as a kid. But, like, yeah, just that scene where he's like, what? And Han's like, woohoo. I didn't realize that Han had that, where, like, he left and then came back. I never realized that as a kid. But, yeah, I guess that's Han's character arc. Oh, did Luke get it? Wait, so there was already a moment where he lost everyone else and he was the only one left. Here we go, Death Star blows up. And this scene lasts for, like, ages. Or at least it seemed like that as a kid. I want to go back in time to 1977. Like, was everyone in the theater screaming at this point? One in a million. That's right, Obi-Wan. Those would have been final words in the movie. And then we never see Obi-Wan again, ever. Jeez. What was that? Earth? I mean, obviously not, as this takes place a long time ago, but it looked like some sort of blue planet with some white clouds. Maybe there was a bit of land there, I don't know. I would have been scared climbing down that ladder. I mean, like I know they were already kind of fearless and confident after what just happened, but like, geez, like you went through all that. You don't want to like tumble out of your ship and die from falling a height. Imagine how awkward that would have been. There we go. Okay, they're gonna fix R2, D2. But like, man, like I can't really imagine calling him just R2. Like, who would you just call him R? And Luke's all just like imagine like Luke is like a hero now, but then he just tumbles out of the ship and then just falls and breaks his skull without climbing down that ladder. There's a forest again that was just there. All right, so this is the final scene. So this is the end of the movie now. See, like I don't even know. Like I don't even know what I would rate this, you know? Like the acting is honestly not that great at times, you know? Like I know that like this is just another movie that's kind of in a way, you know, like I know that I tick people off saying this, but in a way it is kind of so bad it's good. It's one of those movies because like it is just kind of dumb, you know. It's just like sewn into our pop culture, like that guy said. But it's like it's just like man, like it's just okay. So I don't know what I'd rate them out of 10. Like the writing, I guess is like I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because it is dumb, but like like it's a pretty basic plot too, so you can't really get it wrong. Uh, directing, I'd give it. I might actually give it a 10 in directing because I can't really think of anything wrong with it. The directing was fine. Yeah, okay, do you know what, screw it. Directing gets a 10 because I can't think of anything wrong with it. Maybe a 9, like 9.5, but again, I can't think of anything wrong with it, so I might as well give it a 10. Acting, I give it, that laughter looked genuine. It didn't even look like acting. Well, Leia's is definitely acting. Acting, I want to get, for some reason, I want to give it a like 7. Is that okay? And Chewbacca roars one last time, and credits. Chewbacca even looked over to the other characters like, cameraman, point them over there. Hey, yeah, 40 minutes exactly. 40 minutes, so yeah, I was right. It was only 20 minutes long. So if I give the writing an 8, and then the directing a 10, and then the acting a 7, then the average rating that I have for this movie is 8.3, which sounds about right. I know Cosmonaut Quickie was just like 10 out of 10, greatest movie of all time. I can't wait for the sequel. Then Star Wars 5 is like 10 out of 10, it's also good. So apparently everyone freaks out too about how Chewbacca didn't get a medal. Again, like I'm really behind on catching up on all this Star Wars pop culture thing. But yeah, okay. Well, that was it. I guess I should wrap it up now, you know. I should probably have it like as a rule that I have to wrap up the podcast by the time the credits work, otherwise I'm just going to be talking forever. But yeah, so I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me know if there's, again, like, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like so I know that you enjoyed it. I can flesh it out here. And if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike so I know that you didn't enjoy it. I don't want it to crash now. Leave a comment down below if you liked it, tell me why, because it feels awesome to get some motivation and encouragement. If you didn't like it, please leave a comment down below saying why you didn't like it so that I can improve for next time. Otherwise, I won't be able to improve. I'm just going to treat your dislikes for a like. And subscribe so that I know when the next video comes out. Thanks again so much for watching. And as always, I will see you next time. I'm so used to saying that so fast, so I just kind of blumbered it all together. I don't think there's any post-credit scene here, right? That didn't become a big thing until 2008 with Iron Man. But apparently there's also like, what is it, Frederick Bueller's Day Off? I'm not sure if it's Frederick. I might have gotten that wrong. But it's like, but like that had a post-credit scene, and then even Deadpool tried to copy it. But yeah, okay. I guess I'll wrap it up here. Thank you again for joining me. I hope that some of you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, I know the credits isn't over, but okay. Let me know what movie I should do next time. Bye bye. Hello? Hi. Can you guys hear me? Testing, 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 testing. Can anyone hear me? Just testing it out. Testing, testing one more time to make sure that you guys can hear me. Yo, 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 testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.